Fantastically rousing speech. Our next speaker will be known to many of you here. It's Jerome legavre, is the MP for Saint-Denis from La France insoumise, leader of POI, the Independent Workers' Party in France. So please give him a warm welcome.
Well, dear comrades and friends, it's a great honor for me to speak here today at Westminster Central Hall before thousands of people. Special thanks to the British comrades who organized this splendid conference. I am very pleased to be here with my colleagues and comrades from La France insoumise. Nadège Abomangoli, Vice President of the French National Assembly, Daniel Obono, Jean-François Coulombe, André Torigna and Sandrine Nosbet. Comrades, just a few days ago, the French Parliament voted for a 36 billion increase in military spending. In France, the military budget has been doubled in 10 years, and in just a few minutes, the government found 36 billion for the army. Every political force, from the Socialist Party to the far right, voted in favor of this increase. La France insoumise, of course, voted against it. When child welfare organizations ask for the 3 billion missing from child protection and social care budgets, the government tells us there is no money. In a country where 10 million people are living in poverty, the government has decided to cut 6 billion from hospitals, social security and education. But in a few minutes, they find 36 billion for the army and for war. And the French government is doing exactly the same as Starmer in Britain, Merz in Germany and Meloni in Italy. 3 days ago, French President Macron welcomed, yes, French President Macron welcomed, yes, yes, it's what people want in France, exactly. French President Macron welcomed Donald Trump with full honors at the Palace of Versailles, the Palace of the Kings of France. He welcomed the man who bears primary responsibility for the continuation of the genocide against the Palestinian people, the man responsible for the war against Iran, the man who kidnapped Maduro and who today threatens Cuba. And Macron, the little King Macron, dares to tell us we are living a great moment of peace. He is referring, of course, to the agreement between the United States and Iran. But meanwhile, the genocide of the Palestinian people continues. Meanwhile, ethnic cleansing continues, and it continues with the complicity of our governments. The United States and Israel have launched a war against Iran with global consequences. Israeli Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir has just declared Lebanon must burn, and today Donald Trump is threatening Iran again. And meanwhile, for 4 years now, war has devastated Ukraine. While governments and arms manufacturers prosper, hundreds of thousands of people on both sides have been killed in this war. And we know that American imperialism, which is in crisis and in decline, and Donald Trump himself will not voluntarily abandon their objectives. US Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth recently declared that the American military presence in Europe should be reconsidered. We all know what that means. Even greater pressure on European governments to increase military spending. For months now, in France, in Britain, and in Germany, we have been subjected to an intense propaganda campaign. They say we must prepare for a confrontation with Russia on the European continent. In last December, the Chief of Staff of the French Armed Forces declared that French people must be prepared to sacrifice their children. We reject this war propaganda, and we say we will never accept the sacrifice of our children. We say they won't go. Our governments are spending money to prolong wars and to expand wars. And I say this clearly. For people in France, for workers, for young people in France, in my country, the main danger, the principal danger is our government. And for example, in this moment, it is multiplying racist measures, passing laws that divide people along racial lines. It feeds racism and Islamophobia, and it feeds the growth of the far right. Yes, the revolutionary Karl Liebknecht was right when he said the main enemy is in our own country. Comrades, it is the mobilization of peoples united against their own governments that will stop the march towards war. And we say full and unconditional support for the Palestinian people. We say full and unconditional support for Russian deserters. And we say full and unconditional support for Ukrainian deserters. Full support for all those who are fighting to stop this machinery of death and destruction. I saw what dock workers have done to prevent weapons from being shipped to Israel. I saw the strike by young people in Germany against conscription. I heard what young people in my own country said. We will not go. Comrades, they show us the way forward. Because if we want to stop the march towards war, if we want to stop war budgets, then we must stop the war machine itself. And in this struggle, the responsibility of the trade union movement is enormous. There are a lot of unionists in this room, and it is very important. The forces exist within the trade union movement, despite of the major leaders who in my country, for example, behave as if everything were normal. The powerful mobilizations against the genocide of the Palestinian people demonstrate that people, and especially young people, don't want war. Our task, starting today with the big success of this conference in London, is to work, to bring together and unite all those forces in the trade unions, in the political parties, in the associations and campaigns against war and against our governments. And now, comrades, please to the action. Thank you, comrades, and solidarity.